So, your net income is what banks are looking at, or right, credit card companies and stuff, is your income less your expenses. So it sucks initially because you have to pay tax on it. Yeah. But in 2 years, when you want to get a house and you have all your sugar daddy money in there as well, now that actually really helps your cause, and you're empowering yourself to, you're hooking yourself up in the future.
Yeah.
For your future self thanks you. That's what I tell my clients.
Yeah, for real.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're coming from, where are you from? New York, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm from Buffalo, born and raised. And then I started this company in DC, and now I'm living in Houston.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So you're just like,
I'm just around, yeah.
you're making your way.
I'm making my way west.
Nice.
And warm.
There you go. Maybe you'll end up in Cali.
I hope. It's nice out here.
I'm a Cali girl. Like, I don't think I could deal with the cold or anything.
So you're born and raised here?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Buffalo girl.
Yeah, it's freezing, right?
We got grit out there.
What is grit?
Just because, like, I don't know, I feel like if you have to go out every morning and you have to scrape off your car with all of the snow and everything else, like, you're a little bit tougher. So that's why I hire a lot of people from Buffalo.
Like,
so I feel like they got
grit?
I feel like they got grit. Yeah.
Well, I wanted you to come today because we've talked on Instagram, we've spoken over the phone, and you are just like like, if there's any questions I have, I would go to you. Like, you know what there is to know about taxes, women doing their taxes as dancers. And I just wanted you to come and like just bring all the info that you have. I feel like this is something a lot of women can benefit off of.
Yep.
Just by watching. And like, the objective of this is to answer. We did a poll, we asked questions. This is to answer any questions that you have and to pretty much make taxes and filing everything you want approachable.
Yeah, approachable and digestible and available.
So we're gonna like break it down and make it easy. As easy as we can.
Yes, it's very intimidating and confusing and overwhelming. Yeah. And that I understand. I mean, even when I was in college learning about taxes and when I was working in tax firms, I was like, wow, like, this is very intimidating. Like, these tax forms are not user-friendly. It's very confusing. So I initially started working with OnlyFans creators. That's how I started working with sex workers. And then I had a lot of dancers reach out to me. So now I have, probably half of my client base is dancers at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And initially I didn't realize that it was such an underserved community. I had no idea.
I feel like dancers are like scared to even like, because you feel like the way we were talking, the way banks are.
Yeah.
A lot of banks won't even give you an account if they know that you're a dancer. So for taxes, you almost feel like you're like doing taxes on something you're not supposed to be doing.
Right. And that's not the case. It's legal. And it's all taxable income, and filing taxes set the foundation for so much that you want to do in your life. If you want to get a mortgage, if you want to get real estate, credit, car, everything, taxes are the foundation of that. And if you're getting judged by your accountant or sexually harassed by your accountant, or you're too scared to get your taxes done and you're years behind, like, you're missing out on bigger opportunities.
So one of the biggest things I think for dancers is like, what is the most you've ever seen somebody be behind on taxes, and like how was it cleaning that up?
Yeah, I mean, 5 years, I would say.
What does it look like to cleaning up that amount of like years?
It's literally just organizing your business income and expenses through the years. So dancing is a little bit harder because a lot of transactions are done in cash, obviously. But it seems like a lot of girls have their own tracking mechanism, whether that be like a spreadsheet or a journal of some sort.
We have one on our app too.
There you go. Download it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's whatever system really works for you, but it's just going back through bank statements or finding receipts and just kind of piecing that together. So if you know you work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, your tip outs or whatever, every time you work, it's $40.
If you don't have any receipts, you don't have anything, you haven't done your taxes in 5 years, and I come to you and I'm like, I haven't done my taxes in 5 years. I'm a dancer. I've been dancing for 5 years. I don't have anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. What is the next step? You
have to try to put the pieces together in whatever way that you can, because we need some sort of data to do your taxes. So that's kind of where, we can go off of your deposits. If you deposit, it's why it's important to put money in the bank, even though there are bank issues, which we can talk about later. If you can find any receipts, if you can at least piece together how much your house fees are every time you worked, if you have any record of how much you're working, you could at least be taking some of those expenses. Obviously, it's better to have all of your expenses organized and happening as it's as you're
What
going.
is like the first question you ask after hearing that though? Like if I'm coming to you and I'm like, this is a situation, what is the first question that you're going to ask me so they know what to expect?
Yeah. I mean, just like what we're talking about though, I'm like, do you have any expense tracking? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Could you piece together how many days you worked a week? Do you have a journal that you at least know?
Got it.
You know, stuff like that. Like, how could you trace this just to kind of put the pieces together? And then you just have to do the best that you can pretty much for those years. Yeah.
How long does that take?
Honestly,
for you to do?
It takes us 2 weeks or less by the time that we get all the information in. But it takes more time for clients to get organized. So I try to offer a lot of support in that way. Like that's how we're different than other accounting firms in that we're very client focused, customer focused. Like half of my staff is like client success specialists and the other half are accountants because I understand that everyone needs a little bit more support than you
Especially
would.
this industry.
Definitely. And than like other industries would. And I think that's, you know, a lot of CPA firms, that's their downfall as well. But yeah, I think maybe takes a month for clients to get organized if they're filing multiple years, but also sometimes they just go to a coffee shop and knock it out in a weekend.
So you just they give you like a calendar or like.
Yeah. So we need a spreadsheet.
Got it.
Yeah, you can
a calendar.
Yeah, but a calendar is how they could put the information like in the spreadsheet. So that's like that counts. Yeah, you're onto something. But yeah, we can use a spreadsheet. We could use a picture of a journal if you keep everything on paper. I have a lot of clients that do everything by hand as well.
Yeah, I see a lot of girls like writing down.
Yeah, and that's fine. If that system works for you and that's something that's sustainable, then keep doing it. That's fine. Like it doesn't need to be in QuickBooks. A lot of clients also use different apps like QuickBooks, Truebill, like different stuff like that. So it's just, I always tell clients like find a system that works for you, that's sustainable and maintainable and do it. And don't be hard on yourself and don't judge yourself because you can't figure out how to use Google Sheets. Okay, well then use a journal. It's fine. Like it doesn't need to be that serious. Like you're an entrepreneur. You're in charge of your small business. You're in charge of how you do everything.
Okay, I want to list things and you tell me if they're tax deductible.
All right, here we go.
Okay. And then you kind of explain to me so plastic surgery, is it tax deductible?
I am the messenger and it is not deductible.
Okay, so I thought there was like a case where this dancer that was in Vegas, she tried to write off her breasts for like $2,000. The government said she couldn't do it. The IRS was like, no. She sued them and she won. And now, so what is that? Where does that stand?
So that was one case. Cynthia Hess, that was in 1994. It was because her breasts were extraordinarily large. She had, I'm not sure the size that she got, but it was like
so it was a reduction.
No, she got implants.
Oh,
that were yeah, like the court ruled it to be like a fetish that could only be necessary for entertainment.
That's specific. Got it.
So if you're getting like a standard boob job, it's not gonna hold up in court. And what
about a BBL?
Sorry, no. Or Botox fillers. Any of that. Massages, facials. It's all personal expense because when you're done working, you're you after. And that's part of your body now for the other 16 hours a day.
So anything connected to your body is not, you cannot write off.
Everything that you cannot take off at the end of your shift.
Got it.
It has to be considered like a uniform, a costume, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like dance shoes, outfits.
Yep.
Keep your receipts.
Yep. Keep your receipts. Use your separate business account when making those purchases, which we can talk about as well. But yeah. All of your costumes, pleasers, and then like some beauty supplies. So if you have
like extensions,
clip-in extensions, wigs,
okay,
because you can take them off.
But what if you get like a full? Does that count?
It does not count.
Really?
Because it's not
removable.
It's not removable. Yeah, same thing with like lashes, like strip lashes, yes. Extensions, no.
Wow.
Acrylics, no. Press-ons, yes, because you can technically take them off. So acrylics, I mean, if your club mandates nails, then you could maybe swing that. You know, yeah, but otherwise, no. Tanning, same thing.
What about cars, like gas, driving to the club, like all that?
Driving to the club, yes. Your mileage. So, I mean, we can get a little bit technical here. There's 2 ways you can take your vehicle expense for your personal business use of your personal vehicle. So you can take the standard, which is just your mileage. So just record the mileage that you drive, go to Google Maps, get the exact mileage from your apartment to the club, and just give us your mileage at the end of the year, and we'll get you the discount for that, or the deduction. The other way is to add up all of your car expenses and take the percentage, and that's too much. So track and moral of the story is track your miles.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and use your personal card for gas because we get you the deduction on your taxes.
When a dancer is filing her taxes, do you think she should kind of like we were talking, like if a dancer were to, because it's a business.
Yep.
What's the difference between a dancer filing as like a LLC, a DBA versus like a independent contractor?
Yep. This is like a hot question I get all the time. So LLCs do not equal any tax savings. Your tax situation is exactly the same as a single member LLC that you would be as a sole proprietor.
Okay.
The difference is that you are protected in the event of being sued or going bankrupt. And it allows you to use a true business bank account, which has like the EIN instead of your social security number. I'm not an attorney, but in my opinion, dancers are not at risk of being sued or going bankrupt. So you don't necessarily need an LLC as a dancer, but we can definitely set you up with one. I have several dancers that do have LLCs.
Really?
It's an additional expense and you have to maintain it with your state. So that's like something else to just kind of keep in mind. Once you are netting $60,000, which is income less expenses, you can have an LLC and have it taxed as an S corporation. And that's where tax savings come in. So I actually, at this point, I think I maybe have 2 dancers that are on S corps, but it's possible.
As dancers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
But I mean, 60,000 is like annually is doable.
Yes.
Right? To be able to.
But it's your net income. So it's your...
Yeah. So what you're leaving, what you're actually taking home. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of dancers are definitely hitting that threshold, 100%.
Definitely.
But if you have an S corp, it requires tighter record keeping.
Yeah.
Then you definitely want to have QuickBooks, and you have to be issuing yourself payroll. There's expenses to that. I understand that a lot of dancers are price sensitive to these services, like to tax preparation, because they're not like super keen on it. So it's a couple grand to get started and get everything started up. And I find that a lot of girls don't want to pay that, which I understand.
So what do you think would be the best route to go for? Like for new dancers to come in and I just started dancing and I want to get on top of it with my taxes. What would you recommend, like the steps I take? What would the best?
Start a separate bank account. First thing you do.
A business account or just a separate bank account?
A separate bank account that you will use only for business. So it can just be a separate personal checking account. Go to the same bank that you're at, open a separate bank account. Whatever. You deposit all of your cash into that account. All your spicy income goes into that account. If you're getting tips on Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, it all goes into that account. Then when you go to buy new pleasers, you swipe the debit card linked to that account. And now you're separating your business income from your personal bank account. So the flow that I usually recommend for that would be deposit 100% of your self-employment income into the account, transfer 25 or 30% immediately to savings. Don't even look at it. Save it for taxes. Pretend it doesn't exist. Keep 25% in the bank account. So that way when you slide that card for expenses, there's something in the account. And then transfer 50% to your personal account. And that's how you're paying your rent. You're going to lunch with your friend. You're getting your hair done. It's what you're like living out of. So you're always saving for taxes, saving for your business. So there's something going on, and then paying yourself.
And that's completely doable.
Super doable. Super doable.
It's just like the foundation of the organization that you just have to like implement. It seems it's like
just from the top. Yeah, that's like the simplest thing you can do. And if you've been dancing for 4 years and you don't have a separate bank account, just get one. And then you say, okay,
now you do.
Yeah. Okay. So from March of 2023 on, it was separate. And that's fine. And then for the months before, we can just use a spreadsheet and pick it out. And you just have to go through your bank statements, which can be tedious, but it's not the end of the world. We can help you. I have a bunch of videos on that.
Okay, let's go through the questions that we did.
Yes, we have a lot of questions that came in. So I think we touched on some of them actually, but
like I saw one, I thought it was so interesting. A girl was like, what do I file the money received by my sugar daddy?
Yeah, this is a hot topic.
Because I mean, it makes sense. Like you're like, if the way the government is, they track everything going in, like you're going to get taxed on it. So
you got to claim it. In my opinion.
As what, a gift?
I would claim it as income because I know. This is just like the fillers. I know because it's emotional exchange. It's still, especially if you're getting frequent payouts every month or every 2 weeks, you're getting $6,000 or something like that. That's like clearly traceable. That definitely looks like a small business. And you could just batch that right in to your bank account that you have for dancing.
Yeah. Actually, that would really work in your favor too, because you have that steady, you're showing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then, so, your net income is what banks are looking at, or credit card companies and stuff, is your income less your expenses. So it sucks initially because you have to pay tax on it. Yeah. But in 2 years, when you want to get a house and you have all your sugar daddy money in there as well, now that actually really helps your cause, and you're empowering yourself to, you're hooking yourself up in the future.
Yeah.
future self thanks you. That's what I tell my clients.
Yeah, for real. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So that's on sugar daddy Zelle transfers. Cash as well. I mean, I'm a tax professional. Everything you'll ever hear me say is that all your money is taxable if you're making it in cash or not. We only know what you are showing us, but that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Okay, first year dancing, how do I find how much I owe? So you have to file your taxes. I suggest using a tax professional that's going through and organizing your income and expenses, and then we run through the program. You may owe for federal and your state, likely, but a lot of states don't have state tax, and you wouldn't for those states.
So a lot of women maybe aren't able to like afford a tax professional. What would you suggest for like, is there like a site or like somebody would suggest if they're not able to do that?
Yeah, I would say TurboTax, Intuit specifically. Like that's the company that owns like QuickBooks and TurboTax because they have CPAs on staff. So you can, I have a lot of free resources on my website. I'm happy to share with everyone.
Yeah, definitely check out her website. That should be your first stop.
Yeah, that is your first stop actually. Check that out.
No, but I mean, considering like you specialize in doing taxes with women like us that like I told you it's so hard to even just get a bank account like as a dancer. Like it's a prohibited industry, but it's not illegal to be a stripper. Like it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
I feel like it's discrimination.
It's definitely discrimination.
Well, then why are we suing them?
Girl.
Let's roll.
I mean, no, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's very upsetting. I mean, as someone who had no exposure to this industry before, I could not believe
I couldn't even
what clients were telling me.
I could not get a business account for my app because it was for strippers, even though it was technology.
I can't.
It was so, yeah. I finessed it. Let me tell you. I left that bank and I went to another bank because I knew the questions they were going to ask me, but they said, no, that one. This one, I was like, we're just a technology company. I didn't tell them like what we did it for. I did like TDR Inc., and then instead of the Dancer's Resource. But once they saw the app, they made me show them that I had an office front. So I had to like fake an address. The manager of the bank went to the office to make sure. Yes, to make sure. Went to the office. I had to have my stepdad lie. They were like, well, where is the sign? There needs to be a sign of your...
To get a business bank account?
There needs to be a sign. There needs to be a sign out. I put a sign. It wasn't even my stepdad's a psychologist. Like he literally, I used his office.
Just like crossed out his name. Like this is mine now.
Like, get out of here.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is the stuff. I mean, and it's just like compounded. And I'm like, wow, okay, like this is a serious issue. This is a women's
And you know
rights
what? It's
issue.
so hard as a woman to like, I hate going to the bank. This one right here, this Union Bank right here on Wilshire and Westwood, you guys are rude. Like they're the worst. To bring cash there, just the fucking worst. The worst. The discrimination is like insane. Like it's just, it's disgusting.
Ugh. Yeah, I can't even. But like, strip clubs are romanticized for men.
If a man comes in with a bunch of ones, no one's going to give them a hard time. They're not going to ask them about their business or anything like that. It's, just like a woman.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like that. I read somewhere, aka I saw it on TikTok, that like even like a woman getting a hotel room by herself, it's like more difficult because they're like, what are you doing here by yourself? Or you know what I'm saying? Versus like a guy. It's very discriminatory.
Super.
But the banks, it's much difficult for a woman that looks like me to get a bank account at a bank because they're just going to assume.
Yeah. I mean, that story you just told me, I've never heard anything like that.
Really?
Never.
Yeah.
That they require to see a... No.
And then to show up, they wanted to go, they wanted to walk around and see the manager of the bank.
No, that's completely inappropriate. Like, I don't know. I've never heard of anything like that.
Well, I was lying, but still.
But you got it. But okay. Why?
But why should I have to do all that?
For a legal
would
business.
A man do? Would a man be getting like, or an older woman be? Nope. Exactly. Nope. So discriminatory.
Yeah, big time. I mean, a lot of my clients will come in and say that, their accountants are making them uncomfortable. They're not taking them seriously. They're telling them that they can't even file their taxes. Like this all kinds of lies.
$7.4 billion industry last year. $7.4 billion built on the backs of strippers. And you're going to tell me that you can't take these finances seriously?
And it's a real job, obviously.
Well, hello. The money's being like, it's here.
Yeah.
The industry in itself is like those numbers. Like, how can you deny those numbers? Like, clearly there's money being made.
Yes. Yeah, I had no idea. But
well, that type of discrimination is also what keeps people thinking. Like, when you approach things like that, it keeps it underground. It keeps it taboo. It keeps it unsafe. And that's what keeps the bullshit going.
Yeah.
You know? So you're only furthering all that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I know. Insane.
I know. I can't. I'm sweating.
Can you believe that?
I'm sweating. No, I can't. I can't.
Surprise.
Believe it. It's like, but that's why we have to stick together and empower each other, because
I literally recorded. I was like, are you telling me I can't get a bank account because my app I can't get an account for my app because it serves dancers? And she was like, yes. It's a prohibited industry.
But
it's a technology company. But
who says it's prohibited? Like I don't even know.
Yeah, prohibited. Like, it doesn't make. And then it's like, okay, you have to track your money. You have to do this. You have to do this. But you won't take my money. So how am I supposed to track it?
Yeah.
And then it's like, so you don't get the assistance, but then you're still held responsible.
Yeah.
Like, anybody else would be able to like track, do all that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's affecting lives though, because now
like that's the same thing that keeps it like taboo and everything, is because I forget the name, but you're enforcing it. You're just keeping it where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. And not moving forward. And
it's insane.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super upsetting. But I'll file your taxes, girls, and I will not judge you. And I will help you. And I also have like a pretty extensive network of other professionals too, that I connect clients, like mortgage lenders and real estate agents and financial advisors, just for the sake of knowledge share and just for the sake of getting things done.
Because each state is different. So.
And all the states are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about what's going on in California. Also, we're going to be releasing something like specifically for you Cali dancers.
It's in the works.
It's pretty much going to be like a how-to for taxes of California dancers, just experiencing what we're going through right now. But what is your take?
I thought this was the craziest thing I've ever heard, this AB5, honestly. And I have had calls with tax attorneys, and I did a series of like free consultations for California dancers just so I could pick everyone's brain and try to find like a pattern in what's going on. And I cannot find one. Every club that I'm finding is doing it different.
So what are the general, like what are the few ways that they're doing it?
Yeah. So obviously AB5, everyone's on a W-2. They're no longer freelancers or independent contractors, which means that you cannot take your expenses against that income. But this is an industry where you have to spend money
to make
the income. So I have some clients most clients who are on a W-2 in California are still paying in-house fees, which automatically makes you not an employee. That makes you an independent contractor right there, but they're getting a W-2.
But what does that in-house fee constitute as? Like, what does that consist of?
It depends on would
you consider... So I told you about a club where like they take $120 of your first your first 120 they take, and they count that as who knows what.
That's a house fee though, because it's not your taxes. Because when you get to your W-2, there's taxes withheld on it. That's where the taxes are withheld. So you're paying a house fee.
Yeah, but I think that what they're saying is that the taxes that are withheld is what you're paying for yourself. You're paying for your own taxes that they would be paying for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But that's
illegal.
That's not right. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. That's not right. So I have some clients that are just getting $17 an hour flat, and then the rest of their tips they're making in cash. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. Then some clubs are, just like VIPs are only in VIP rooms are only in W-2s. Nothing has been consistent that I've seen. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh yeah, well you get your check. It's insane. I've had $700-800 nights and get a check for a whole week and it'd be $200. It's insane. I even had a manager. This is why I was like, why? What? Explain this to me. You ask a manager, all three managers will tell you something different.
Yeah.
Because they know they're on bullshit.
Yeah, it's not consistent. I mean, I've tried to compile it and make sense out of it and talk to everyone about it, but I think the law needs to be revised. I mean, it's serious.
But the thing is, I feel this industry is the one industry that it affects in that way.
Yes.
Because it protects every other industry.
Yeah, it's great when you're getting health insurance and paid time off and whatever. But when you're a dancer and you're still paying in house fees and they're messing with your money and now you can't take your expenses, It's really, really messing with people's lives. Like,
and this is a legal business, so they should be held accountable for like, you're making this industry uninhabitable with the way that the law is. Can we not? I'm all so happy today. Well, why are we not suing California?
I don't know if we can sue them, but I don't know what to do. I mean, if anyone knows, let us know, because yeah, that's something that I'm like interested in pursuing, because I think it's really unfair.
It's such a shit show.
It's a shit show.
It's that Dynamax. It was a Dynamax case, right?
I'm not familiar with that.
So apparently this came about because there was the company Dynamax, their delivery service, and they were having their drivers work overtime, not giving them breaks, treating them like employees, but still filing taxes on them as independent contractors. So everybody got together. They sued it. It was such a large lawsuit. It was like a class action lawsuit that they changed the law for it.
Okay.
To protect it from ever happening again. But us being that small gray line, it just fucked everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's completely unfair. But if you are an OnlyFans creator or any sort of digital creator in California, you're still getting it to 99. So in my opinion, a loophole potentially could be, are you listening?
Yeah.
Could be to start an OnlyFans account and monetize an OnlyFans. I mean, it has to be truly a business that you're running and you're making money out of, and you're not just going to go in the red. But if you wore the same lingerie set on your OnlyFans that you would wear at the club, then you could write off your lingerie through the 1099 from your OnlyFans.
Yes. Yeah.
I know, but that's, I mean, I talked to attorneys, literally, that's like the only thing that they suggested, because otherwise you cannot take expenses as a W-2 employee. But then I have a lot of dancers in California where they're still just making cash and then they can write everything off.
Because I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a cash business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like the club should have just taken that L.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to take that L?
Yeah. There needs to be standard operating procedures, like a uniform system that every club, I think, has to adhere for. I think that's how it should be.
I mean, they hold clubs accountable for other laws and other aspects. Why not anything to protect the dancers?
Yeah.
They'll do it to, like, you know, their little like outfits come in. Yeah. They'll check all that. But it's just very interesting how the well-being and like the protection of women in this industry is just non-existent. If anything, it's like they're like against it. You know, it's like you shouldn't do this. You're doing it to yourself. Like, there needs to be that respect of like it actually being a job.
Yes. 100%. Like, there needs to be like a code of conduct for clubs. Like, that's how you operate. Like, this is what it is, and this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
So
what other questions did we get?
We got a lot of questions. Let's see. How do you work with a CPA out of your state? I fly constantly and I'm dreading taxes. So you can use a CPA in any state as long as you're prepared. You don't have to use a CPA. So there's a difference between a tax preparer and a CPA. CPA is a certified public accountant. They have an extra year of school and they have to take a very difficult 4 series test. I'm not a CPA. My team is CPAs. I'm a tax preparer. I'm a tax accountant.
She's a businesswoman.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the entrepreneur. I'm the ideas. Okay. I'm the ideas guy.
Capital E.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but you can use an accountant in any state. Just make sure they have a PTIN.
Oh my gosh, I used to work for a CPA.
Oh, tell me.
And oh my gosh. My mom would probably remember this. I used to work for a CPA when I was like 17, 18. I wasn't even 18 yet. And he tried to make a move on me.
I hate that
and
story.
I told my mom, because I was like, oh no, this motherfucker. I told my mom, and they tried to have a conversation with him. And he's like, that didn't happen. He was like 70.
I mean, I worked in CPA firms and I had the same thing happen to me. And That's why I quit.
He even said, I'll take a lie detector test. Yes. But it's crazy because I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed.
Yep.
But then when I started dancing, I took all his money.
I love that.
I did.
Did he come to the club?
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah,
so you literally did take his money? Ooh, that's sweet.
And then I would hit him up and be, I'm like, my thing is like, I'm a bully with these men.
Yeah, but you gotta be
but the men that like aren't really used, I have the audacity that they're like, fuck it, just take it. But yeah, I like took a lot of his money after.
That's good.
He was addicted.
I got him hooked. But no, I mean, unfortunately, I've had the same thing happen in a lot of office jobs that I had. I worked at the government in DC, same thing. It was like being deployed. I was with all military guys. They're following me in my car, being completely inappropriate. I had a partner to CPA for, put his hands on me. I had like my hair in the back of my shirt like this, and he took it out. He says, it was bothering me the way that was. I was like 21. It was like my first job ever. I was so mad. And that's why like I'm so empowered to make this whole empire of women's empowerment. And like now I have a staff and now I have interns and I like have the opportunity to like make a safe place for everyone.
There's so much value in like our community and like our like this world of ours. There's so much value and like it's so like even lucrative to have a business. Like people are literally just like refusing money because they're on some weird shit. Like this industry is so big. There's so many women that do this and that are part of this industry, whether they admit it or not, openly and outwardly, it's happening.
Yes.
And it still needs to be like regulated. It needs to be protected. It needs to be acknowledged.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And I mean, the skill set that dancers have translates to so many other industries. Like your sales skills, you could sell anything. You know what I mean? Like if you go to a boardroom and you're
negotiation.
Yes. Seriously.
Customer service.
Seriously. That's something that I've learned from my clients actually. Because I used to do my consults for free. Because I was like, okay, like I'm just trying to get in clients.
You gotta respect your own time.
This is
to
what,
get other people too.
This is what. And dancers specifically, OnlyFans creators, I feel like they're a little bit newer to sex work. So
they don't even consider themselves like,
Right. So they're not as aggressive. But like I took a free call with a dancer and she's like, why didn't you pay for it? Like, why aren't you charging me? Like, what's your Cash App? I'm going to tip you.
Well, because it's like as a dancer or even somebody that sets their own prices for like, you know, like that I'm setting the tone for what I'm worth. I have to, because if not, you're going to try to play me for less.
Yep.
So it's better to kind of like set the tone and maintain that standard, because if you don't, no one's going to do it for you.
Yes.
You're going to get got.
Yes. And that is something I learned from my clients. And also boundaries. It's something.
Well, yeah, because we are the only ones responsible for protecting our boundaries. Nobody else will do it. You have to really like mentally, emotionally, everything. It's so important in this industry. It will save you.
Yes. I learned that specifically from Romina Jordan. Do you know? The queen of the
Yes.
underworld.
Oh my gosh. I love her.
You should have her on. Get her on.
I love her. And
She's
you
great.
know what? The thing is that I like about her is that she deals with the women and like the topics that would scare anyone else. And she does it so eloquently. Well, not the most eloquent, but she does it so real.
She's super real.
She does it to where you respect what she's saying because you know you can trust it.
Yes.
Because she's so raw and she's so open about, you know what?
No, get her on here.
To have her on here.
Yeah, get her on.
1,000%.
Get her on.
And I think she was a little bit before her time, her first time around, because I think it was something that like, you know, when you have an industry of people who don't even openly acknowledge the industry in itself and they're part of it, when you come about and you openly acknowledge it, that you're serving that industry, you are just torn apart, you know? People like, but what she's doing is so valuable. She's saving lives.
Super valuable.
Look her up. What is it? Romina?
Yeah, Queens of the Underworld.
Queens of the Underworld. And she's very, what is it? Grit?
She's got grit.
She's got grit.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely does. I mean, I called her out of the blue because I had.
And you don't feel judged and you like.
No.
I don't care who you are. She's always probably heard worse.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, I've gone to her professionally and personally too. Like I've gone to like, how do I implement my personal boundaries as I'm building this business?
With them.
Clients.
I remember
and
that's something.
With my, with everyone. And then I've gone to her and be like, okay, how does this industry actually work? Like, I don't even know. I started just working with 19-year-old OnlyFans creators. And then I got all these clients and all these niches of sex work. And I was like, okay, I need to know how this works.
Yeah.
And she took the time to explain everything to me. So she's been a great resource to me, and she would be to everyone else.
Yeah,
so.
I definitely think so. Definitely. I think that like her stuff just, it's so real that you could kind of get uncomfortable, but that's just the reality of it. Like we can't just all be in our little bubble.
But she gives it to you straight. She like calls everyone out. And sometimes her posts, I'm like, ooh,
I know.
I'm like, same.
I'm like, oh shit, man.
And she keeps getting blocked.
Oh, I was like, sometimes I'll see her shit and I'll be like, girl, you're gonna get deleted. You need to stop. Like,
yeah, and she does.
But it's that valuable. I'm gonna have her on. That's like,
she's in California. She's around. So
Southern California.
Yeah. Definitely should.
Definitely. So what else do we
should
have?
we move on to some... So I have some things that I just want to touch on just to make sure that we don't skip over them.
Definitely.
Your health insurance is a write-off. That's the first one.
Okay.
If you are not a W-2 employee and you cannot get health insurance through your W-2, health insurance is a write-off. See, clients miss that all the time.
What do you think about, like, Aflac, how they have that? What do you think about that for dancers? Should
Love
you
it.
ever get hurt?
Should it?
Are they willing to insure dancers?
I'm not sure.
I wonder. I feel like that would be such a great insurance to have if you ever got hurt or whatever it may be. Like, the older you get, your body's
Yeah. I'll look into that, actually. That's a good, insurance is a good call. But yeah, all of your insurance would be a write-off.
Okay.
Another thing is that if you're traveling between states, so I have a lot of clients that are working seasonally in New York and then Florida. You have to track your income for each state because you have to file a different tax return for the states that you're in. So if you're a California dancer and you get a W-2, but you work a lot in Vegas, now you can take your write-offs.
Oh,
for that income.
Lovely.
Because you're a 1099, even though there's no state tax in Vegas.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yes. So that's
write it down.
That's another one. Yeah. So those are two main things I just wanted to touch on.
I like that. I feel like there's always a loophole. Like it's.
Yeah, there is. Okay. So a lot of this we've actually already touched on, which is good because it means that we are on the right track. Like, can I skip years or should I file the years I've missed? File.
You have to file.
You have to file. And if you come to me and you haven't filed since 2018, I legally cannot do your 2022 tax return until we file all of your back taxes because now we're liable for those years. So a diligent accountant should make you file all of your back taxes. So that's the answer to that. Are accountants necessary? And on average, how much do accountants cost? Accountant is not 100% necessary. You can file on your own.
What if you make a mistake on your taxes? Like, what is that?
Yeah, that happens. So you can get a notice and then they'll make you pay it back. You'll probably get audited. That's something. I mean, you can also amend your taxes. That's what I do for a lot of clients too.
Have you ever seen a dancer get audited?
None of my clients. Mostly I see OnlyFans that have been getting audited.
Okay. But I feel like that would be kind of easy, no? Because it's like everything is like traceable.
It's traceable, but it's the write-offs. It's like when we were talking about like the home office deduction.
Yeah.
If you're trying to write off your whole house, then that's like a red flag. If you are, I had a client who had to pay back $40,000 to the IRS because her last accountant misled her on what was a write-off and what wasn't. And she wrote off her fillers and she wrote off her whole home office and and then you have to pay back the amount that you deducted and shouldn't, plus penalties, plus interest.
Ugh.
And if you don't pay that, then eventually they'll garnish your wages and they can seize your property. They can take it out of your bank account. So you have to play within the rules of the IRS, even though it sucks and it's horrible. But if you don't file taxes, you cannot move on in life. You can't do the things. You'll never get a lease. You won't be able to get an apartment, So file your taxes and take the right write-offs. Have
you ever seen when people are like, those memes, they're like, can you please provide us with your proof of income, and then the girl puts her titties on the on the copy machine
right here,
and then here you go, here's my proof of income.
Yeah, but it's tough for dancers because a lot of clubs are not issuing 1099s, so the only proof of income that you have is actually your filed tax return. You have no federal tax documents to go off of. So that's and if you want to get a loan, they're going to look at the last 2 years at least.
It's cold out here in California. It's insane.
It is cold. The last 2 times I've been here, it's been like 45.
I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the weather. I'm like, it's cold out here.
No, it's cold-blooded out here.
All right, don't mind me. I'm sorry.
It's a buffalo.
I know. I'm just sorry. I'm just like.
No, it is actually cold. You literally just missed. You missed we had. There's like palm trees out here. I was taking bets on if these shits were gonna snap or not. The winds, everything was insane.
I was just in Vegas. It was snowing in Vegas.
Oh, really?
It was like nothing I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yikes.
Crazy. So we've touched on all of this stuff that I can see. I won $500 at the casino. You got to claim it. You're gonna get a tax document for it.
At what amount? Oh, really? To what amount will they? Well, then you didn't really win shit, did you? You won a what? You want a tax thing.
Yeah, you want a 1099 miscellaneous. Congratulations for gambling. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't get a tax document for it, I think the threshold, don't quote me, I think it's the same as like 1099s for non-employment compensation. I think it's $600.
So I know that they were going to start like with the Cash App and like the electronic funds transfer. Where do we stand with that?
Yeah. So they delayed that rule. So what we're talking about is that if you made over $600 on any of these third-party payment platforms, they were going to start issuing 1099s, and it was going to get really sticky because people are running their business out of it and whatever. But they went back on it, and allegedly it's going to start for the 2023 tax year. I'm not sure like what's going to happen with that, but I would say there's a digital trail. Like there's definitely a clear difference in a Cash App account where you're splitting drinks with your friends and splitting rent, and consistent tips that are going into your bank account, or consistent, for gigs or anything else, sugar daddy money, whatever. So I would recommend for those third-party payment platforms that you hook them up to your separate bank account. Start a Cash App that's only for dancing. Don't put your real name on it, whatever.
If there's anything you get from this podcast, it's get a separate bank account.
Yes.
Just go get yourself another bank account, personal, whatever, and just run all of your business out of there.
Yes, that is like the it's the easiest and like the biggest thing that you can do for yourself would be to start a separate bank account. Yeah.
I literally I feel like I was like living off my business account for like
that's another thing.
Years. Is that bad?
Okay. So you want to have separate, for personal stuff and for business stuff, because I have a lot of clients who do that as well. They'll start a separate business account and then they'll just swipe it for everything. Well, now it's the same as just having it all in your personal account.
No shit. No, for real.
So yeah. So you have to keep it separate, but
because it's like you can't write off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your slice of pizza, your one slice of pizza.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing that's not a write-off is getting Uber Eats delivered to the club. And I see a lot of clients trying to write off their meals at the club. So that's not considered a business meal. A business meal would be if you were, I don't know what a business meal would be for dancers. If you had a network with someone outside of work, if you were like meeting a manager about a potential gig, feature dancer or something like that, that could be a business meal.
Well, I would never pay for that.
There you go. So wouldn't, So they doesn't exist then.
No such thing. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think about like tax. Damn. Yeah, they're really fucking us out here.
Yeah, the California thing is really,
because
really
you can't
insane.
write anything off. You can't. There needs to be something. Can you do something,
I'm
please?
trying. I don't know if anyone knows who I should talk to. Let me know. Put it in the comments and I will, really, because I'm passionate about it.
What do you think the best state is to dance in? I know Texas is popping.
Texas is popping. I have a pocket of girls in Miami that are making more than I've ever seen any other dancers make.
Like, give me a number.
Like 350.
Really?
Yeah.
How often are they working?
I don't know all the deets.
But damn. Okay, so what is the taxes like that?
So there's no state tax in Florida.
Oy.
So they don't have to pay state tax. So that's one thing. That helps.
So they're netting $350.
They're not netting it because they still have to pay federal tax, and then you have your expenses too. But yeah, and then that's an S corp candidate. I was gonna say,
so that's
Yeah. So I see dancers making a lot of money. And then a lot of my clients that are dancing and on OnlyFans, I have some.
Oh, the OnlyFans. I don't know girls that are like making $500,000 a month.
Yep.
That like, it's insane. I wish I would have done that. But like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something like it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not for everyone.
I tried it for 2 days and I was like, no, fuck you guys.
Huh. I made one for tax tips. That's what everyone said. And I got a lot of DMs. I'm like, no, it's really for tax tips. Like
you're all
spicy
naked,
taxes.
like topless, like spicy taxes.
No, not even. It's like some like vanilla shit. I'm like, okay, guys, like let's talk about write-offs. It's just like 200 men like waiting for me to do something. I'm like, okay, like I think I'm in the wrong place.
Did you get male subscribers?
I have a lot of subscribers still. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. See what happens.
I have OnlyFans. I have like 4 subscribers, and then they sent me something. They're like, bitch, you haven't posted in like a year. Not a year, maybe like 6 months, 7 months. Because I only did 2 posts. And they were like, one, there's like a little nip slip. And then the other one, I'm like this. In a bikini.
Did you have followers? Did you get subscribers?
But I was like, And then they were like writing my Instagram every day to post on OnlyFans. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no.
You got to go.
No.
I'm done. So I just took it off my thing. I didn't have a lot of subscribers, but like, I don't know. I just didn't want to, because like with TDR, I'm on that Instagram and like in that world as it is. So like for my personal, to put it on my personal account and like all that, I was just like, I want to have something like that isn't
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work. OnlyFans. I know a lot of people
yeah.
joke like, oh yeah,
People
I'll
take
just
it
make
really-
an OnlyFans LOL.
No, honey. It's
No.
a business.
Yeah.
It's a business and it's a lifestyle because
Yes, and the sales funnels are very complicated.
I don't think that OnlyFans has the stigma like dancing does. Like,
No.
You think so?
I don't think it does. I feel
like guys are like a guy would. I went on a date with a guy and he was talking about his ex-girlfriend. I was like, good Lord. But he was like, oh, she was like the top 2 creators OnlyFans she made. I was like, good for you, shorty.
Yeah, it's like a cultural phenomenon.
Yes, like he was like proud of it. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
this is interesting.
Yes, and then meanwhile, dancers are still being discriminated against.
It's insane.
It's insane.
But you know what? Like if you had someone come do something else, dancing will always have that stigma because literally you have the same thing online and like it's almost like embraced.
Yeah.
It's become like part of the culture.
Yeah.
OnlyFans is part of our culture.
It's really crazy. Yeah. What has happened.
And strippers are just supposed to be like, shut the fuck up, you're a dumb stripper.
I hate that.
But you know what? People do talk shit on OnlyFans girls too. Like, I can see your pussy for $3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are mean.
But you'll never be able to touch it.
Hey. Yeah, a lot of my OnlyFans clients get stalked. They have Reddit accounts about them because you get massive exposure.
Who's like you're exposing yourself to so many different people that probably feel like they know you or are entitled to access of you or anything. And it's like it gets weird, you know?
Yeah, and if you're not careful where you're posting, I mean, I've had some, and I don't even have that many followers, and I've had people show up where I am.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, the internet is wild. Definitely.
I don't post where I'm at because I don't want to get served.
Good tactic. Good tactic. Yeah, but you should post, I guess, the day after. I guess there's some rules
definitely
on that.
Definitely a 24-hour window.
Yeah, not where you are in real time.
No, but I mean, unfortunately, this is what we have to do. I feel like it's always been very intimidating. Literally, when I started dancing, I was like, I don't file taxes, right? As the stripper. Like I thought it would be stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, no one knows how taxes work. It's not readily available. So how would you know?
Well, now it is. We're making it readily available for you. Now. We're taking away like the intimidation factor of it, and we're going to make it so Catherine's making it so it's accessible to you so you can use taxes as a tool.
Yes, a tool of empowerment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. You're already making the money.
Yeah.
It's another way of making your money work for you is to be, you know, holding it accountable, like logging it, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, you can. That's how you can invest. That's how you can set up a retirement plan. You know, you can do all these things and it starts with taxes. And I know that it's scary, but yeah, I'm committed to making it available. Yeah. Definitely. Because it should not be gatekept. This is something that should be available to anyone in America, literally, like the world. Like it's ridiculous that we're not taught about taxes.
Yeah, I feel like in high school, they should teach you about like managing money, entrepreneurship, taxes, not like science. Like who's going to use science?
The Pythagorean theorem. Like I can't even.
Spell it.
Exactly. I couldn't even say it. As I was saying, I was like, bitch, careful. But yeah, exactly. Stuff that's like not useful at all. And then they have this complicated tax system that no one ever gets to learn about.
But maybe that's
into the world.
Maybe that's the point of it.
I think it might be.
Did we just solve something here?
I think we did.
Is there anything else that you would like recommend, like other than the bank account? I think that bank account, like I said, if that's one thing you're going to get, you have to do that.
That's the biggest one. That's the first thing you got to do. Second one is to come up with any tracking mechanism that works for you. Don't be hard on yourself. Be realistic. If it's a paper, if it's a notebook, that's what it is.
Like even if it's like on your refrigerator, just put it with the magnet and write it down every single day. When you came home, when you wake up, whatever it is. It can't be like, for me, it can't be a notebook. It can't be, I have so many papers all over here. It has to be like on the wall, you know?
Yes.
Like something like.
Yep, exactly. Let's see, what's something else? I want to explain how like the tax preparation process works. I get a lot of questions about that.
Okay.
So you come to an accountant or a tax professional and you would have all of your tax documents. So if you have a W-2 from your day job and you have your spreadsheet organized with your dancing income and expenses and you have your tuition statement and a dividend statement, you know, all your tax documents, you'd bring that to an accountant and then they will file one tax return for you. So it's not a separate tax return for your W-2. Okay. And your business. It all goes on one, and that's due April 15th. That's a 1040. If you have an S Corp, then there's a separate business tax return, but those taxes are due April 15th. And then you pay a fee to your tax professional for them to file your tax return. And then beyond that, you pay the government for your actual.
Jeez.
Yeah. But what you pay a tax preparer.
So you're getting 20%.
Yeah. But it's a write-off, whatever you pay your accountant. So that helps a little bit.
Oh,
That's
there you
considered
go.
a professional fee. Yep. Same thing with attorneys, notaries, the whole nine. So that stuff's a write-off.
What about if you, well, this is kind of a stupid question, but like in general, getting your, well, I guess your insurance would cover that. Like if you're getting a breast reduction or something.
No, medical expenses are not deductible for your
I don't know
business.
why I thought I would ask that.
No, it's a good question because there is a spot to deduct medical expenses on the 1040, but it's on, this is going to get a little gross. I'm going to talk about like technical stuff. Okay, so like there's the standard deduction. That's the amount of money that the government gives you just for existing. And then there's itemized deductions. This is separate from your business. This is just for like being an individual, just like being alive in America. You have two options. If you can get your itemized expenses to be, or your itemized deductions to be higher than the standard deduction, which I think this year it's like 13,000 and change, then you can take those. And on there is medical expenses, but it's all limited. So you can only do 2.5% of your adjusted gross income for this and this and this. So it's like, it's very complicated. So when people come to me and say like, someone I know wrote off their medical expenses, some people can. It depends on what your tax situation is. For the standard dancer, that's not going to be a write-off. So it's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Other things that are a write-off that we missed would be a pole for home.
Oh, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Pole for home's a write-off. Pole classes.
What about a pole room?
A pole room.
Like those girls. Is that not normal? I thought.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Y'all don't have sex dungeons? No. Like, like when a girl has a pole, she'll put it in like a room. Right? And she'll pole dance in that room. Like they put it in the center and then they decorate it. It's just like where they practice. But it's in a specific room.
So that could be your home office.
No, and you have a home office.
You can only have one room of your house to choose for business.
Only one?
Yes.
How big can the square footage be? Is there like a cap on that?
Not that I know of. It just has to be like the truth, basically, because if you get audited, they're going to come and measure it. So like we have like a tax questionnaire and it's going to be, what's the total square footage of your home? What's the square footage of your home office?
So you like when the girls come to you, you send them like a questionnaire, they fill it out and then they send it back to you.
Yes. So
that's the first step.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah. So I have a portal and I also have a tax firm. So my tax firm is called Prisma Tax Group. My brand is the only consultant. The only consultant owns half of Prisma Tax.
Okay.
So when you come to us, we'll send you a questionnaire. It's all digital. You create a login to this portal. It's through Intuit, which is the same program that's TurboTax. So if you have to use TurboTax, it's legit. Okay. And we'll prompt you for every kind of document you could ever have. So if you forget about something, it's like, oh, okay, 1098T, I do have a tuition statement. Cool. Take a picture of it, upload it. It's just all from your phone. Yep.
Very
and
doable.
then you can do a questionnaire. It's just like multiple choice, quick, like about you. And and then we'll quote you up front. So we'll digest all of that. Our rates start at $575. Increase based on complexity, so from the top how much our fee is going to be, and then it takes about 2 weeks for tax preparation from there.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think normal tax preparation, if a CPA is signing their return, I think it'd be at least $500. Another thing is that your tax professional should never take a percentage of your refund. That's illegal. So if anyone's coming,
are people doing that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I had a lot of clients that come to me and say it's a lot of single mothers because they're getting a big refund.
Oh, hell
So
no.
they're like being exploited. Yeah. And it's a lot of times it's like not even by real tax professionals. It's like, I don't know. It seems to be like
Jesus up the street over here.
Yes. It's like someone in the neighborhood who does all the single mom taxes and he's charging a percentage of their refunds, which is illegal. And then he's doing their taxes incorrectly.
Probably to get the higher refund. No, he's fucking them over.
Yes. Exploitation I see all the time.
Tax exploitation.
Yes.
Just when you think you've seen all the exploitation.
Yes, there's scams everywhere. Another thing is that the IRS will never message you on Instagram. The IRS will never I know.
That's a lie. They always DM me.
I don't know. They're on my favorite friends list. But yeah, the IRS will send you a notice.
Yeah, I have them on my close friends.
Yeah, they're on my close friends. Yeah, but I have a lot of clients that will, they get scammed. Like the IRS will never call you and ask you for your social security number. Like
the fuck?
Yeah.
And it probably obviously happens the most like during tax season.
Definitely big time tax fraud scams.
Huge. Damn.
Huge.
Dancers, watch out.
Watch out.
And we had spoken in the past podcast that dancers are such like targets for scammers.
Big time.
I think we're stupid.
Yeah. But it's not your fault you don't know how taxes work. You don't know how things work. That's what I mean. I know.
That's what you're here for.
I got you, girls. Call me. Call us.
Well, is there anything else that we should touch on? I feel like we have.
I think we hit the big topics. We covered a lot in this. And if anyone,
we have a lot of stuff that like we're working on to put out to just kind of like make taxes, all of this more accessible, more approachable, take away the whole intimidation factor of it.
Yeah, and delivered in a way that is more like a conversation.
Like after you're gonna feel real good that you handled this.
Yeah. Like I'm happy to break everything down for you step by step by step by step. Like if I have a call with the client, like if you need me to say it 4 times in different ways, then we'll do that every time.
That's me.
I get it though. I totally get it.
I need it spelled out.
Yeah, I totally get it. And I think that we could do, more focused conversations as well. Like we could do a deeper dive of exactly write-offs for, taxes for California dancers, the whole 9. But yeah, if anyone has any resources about how we can change this AB5 law for dancers, please let me know because my team and I are interested.
I would definitely love to be a part of that.
Yeah,
and
I think we should make a movement.
Yeah, we should figure out something because this shit is ridiculous and the amount of thievery that's going on. We're getting fucked. It's really bad. It's insane.
Completely. Yeah. Everyone's being exploited. It's not right. Every time I see a California dancer come in, I'm like, ugh. Like it's different every time. I'm so frustrated for the client.
The clubs are so fucking greedy, and it's just like, well, they're like, well, we can't make. Well, that's your fucking. What does that have to do with me? I'm already paying. Like, it's too much.
Yeah, no, it's affecting people's lives. It's not right.
Because like on a W-2, any other work, you go work at a place and like you wear whatever, you know, like you have to have specific outfits, specific shoes, a specific, whatever.
Yep.
I'm upset.
Yep, I know. And they're messing with their schedules too a lot is what I've heard as well. So like you can only work from 5 to 10 or you can only work in like so many hours or something.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay you for more. It's
I know. And if you're a California dancer, I mean, I think that maybe I'll create a survey and I can just survey all of the California dancers.
Yeah, just to kind of narrow out. You should just kind of narrow like the general way that they're actually doing this. Like what's but I really do think it's like taking the one. I don't know why it's 120. It's like 120 and then it's a shit show.
But that's and
then like you already have these assholes stealing from you once you're drunk. So like you don't need extra because it's so complicated. You ask them to explain and you're drunk. They start stealing more.
Oh my God.
Yes, they're stealing more. Have you ever experienced like do people ever talk shit to you for the clientele that you have? Like have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. So when I first started this business, so I outsourced the returns initially. So because I needed to spend time with the clients, teaching everyone how to do everything. So I could not prepare the taxes. So I was contracting different CPA firms. And initially I started in Buffalo. That's where I'm from. And then I was asking CPA firms in DC. They would literally hang up on me. They thought it was like the stupidest idea ever. No one wanted anything to do with it. They didn't want to touch sex work taxes, not for OnlyFans, not for dancers, nothing. They thought I was like some stupid little girl. No one took me seriously, which only pissed me off more. And I was like, watch this, boys. So
that's insane.
Yeah. But now that this is a cultural phenomenon, I see how much money is in it and the whole 9. Yeah. Like I've been getting some press, and on LinkedIn, all these accountants and financial advisors are reaching out and say, oh, how do you network with your clients? Like, this is such a great idea. You're so innovative. Oh my God. Like, get away from me and get away from my clients. Like,
don't you feel protective?
I feel super protective.
I feel very protective over dancers with TDR. Like,
yes.
Yes. Don't fucking play with me.
That's how I feel. I'll cut you off in 2 seconds. I got a lot of financial advisors reach out like, oh, like I want to work with your clients. Like, get away from me.
They think that they're like, like she must be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, boys.
Okay.
Because that's not the story.
Okay. Well, since we have a tax professional, does anybody in the house have any questions?
I have a question. So my question is, how far beyond like doing your taxes when the IRS is going to come and take your money? It's a 2-part question. So how long do your taxes not have to be filed for the IRS to be like, we're coming for your money? And then the second part is, when you have to do back taxes, how long does that take? So originally you were saying it takes 2 weeks to do the taxes for the year, but if you haven't done taxes for 3 years, it's 6 weeks.
So first question, which was about when will the IRS come for your money? So first, it's like a series of notices. So they're not just like gonna start taking money out of your account. Like, and the notices come in the mail and they're paper. So it's not gonna be any other way other than that. So the first is gonna be an underpayment penalty fee because you're supposed to owe and you never paid. Then there's going to be like a non-filing fee because you didn't do that. And there's going to be penalties and interest on top of that. And then they're going to keep sending you notices and notices. And eventually it will compound into them garnishing your wages and seizing your property and taking money out of your bank account.
So they don't just come pick you up if you didn't pay your tax.
They don't just come pick you up. Yeah. Same thing for like estimated tax payments. If you don't make those, it's just like a penalty when you go to file your taxes. It gets added and it's based off of what you would have owed. But I mean, I don't have the exact timeline, honestly, but it takes some time. Like,
what are the penalties like in terms of like cost wise?
It's usually based off of a percentage of what you should owe the government. So like the bigger your tax bill should be,
the higher the penalty.
Yeah. And there's thresholds to it. So I think it's like, I don't know, 0.5% for so long. And then it's up to a threshold of 25% of what you would have owed, whatever. Oh yeah, girl.
Wow.
That shit adds up. It's not a game. And then eventually they're going to take it anyways. Like they will get they will get their money. Yeah. And then I'm sorry, your second question was about back taxes. It's just as fast as you can get everything organized, really. So if you have your bank account that you've been using for business, it's just a matter of you filling out the spreadsheet. It's just a matter of you getting all of your tax documents together, and it would still, we could still do it in 2 weeks. The longest part is the client getting organized and like educated on how taxes work usually. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Mom, you have any questions?
Any tax questions, Mom?
She's like,
She's like, wait, where am I?
She's like, what are taxes? All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was a good talk, and I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of work together soon. Yeah. I mean, we already are.
I know. This is the start of something new.
Okay. See you.